there are issues. From the creation of the state, the situation is that the East has democratically produced governors twice. The Central, also the Central has done that, but the West has not produced any. Do you think the zoning arrangement favors you this time around?
Definitely it does. Equity and fairness, requests or demands that the people of Ogun West should have a shot at the governorship. And you said it all. We have had about five civilian, four civilian governors, two apiece from the East and then from Central. The West has not had an opportunity, and I think that it's only fair that they should be given. The West should be given an opportunity.
And you think you are the right man to be given that
opportunity?
Yes,
I think. I have said it many times, though, that my reason for contesting is not because I'm from West. It's because I believe that amongst the people that want to contest, or rather that I have the capacity and the wherewithal and the knowledge, and the drive and the vision to take our state to a greater height throughout the nooks and crannies of the state. Of course, the fact that I come from Ogun West is another advantage. That I come from a place that has never produced a governor
in 40 years,
in 42 years, going to 43, and it is not that they don't have the sons or daughters that have the capacity. It's another advantage.
But don't forget, in terms of voting population, those areas that you have talked about, they have that edge over the West.
It's probably the same. It's probably called. When you look at the West and the West now, we mean Yewa Wori.
Yeah.
In terms of percentage, it's just about the same percentage.
No, but some people would say no. You talk about Abeokuta, you talk about the Ijebus.
Yes.
Those are more populated areas in terms of voting. When on the voting day, you get most of the votes. People will say if those people vote for you, you have almost become a governor.
It's like that everywhere. The West has about 670-something thousand registered voters. Since the creation of the state, the number of votes that produce governors range between 300 and thereabout. So even the West, from the registered voters that we have, if you have 80%, accredited, voters, I have another 80% of that voting for a particular candidate. Even the West can produce a governor. So there's no, and in terms of percentage, yes, Central District has about 35%. The others are also on 30-something%, range. The only thing is that whereas in the center you have Abeokuta North, South, Ifo, and all that, and then in the Ebus and the Remo. Whereas in the West you have Yewa and the Abori, and majority of the vote is in Ota. About 40% of the vote is in Ota. So in order for you to have this kind of vote, you actually need to garner votes from both sides. So it's not as if any area has a major advantage in terms of registered voters than the other one.
There is another thing between registered voters and the actual voting on that day.
Exactly.
Let's talk about your plan, your programs. Your slogan is abundance, life abundance.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what we mean by that is that an average Ogun State man and woman, young and old, should live a fulfilled life, should be able to achieve his potentials, given the wherewithal and the resources that we have as a state, should be able to live a decent life, given what we have. That whatever an average Ogun State person wants to do, he should be able to pursue it, that we have what it takes, human resources, material resources, natural resources, good location, everything that needs to be there. That what we need is good leadership and also an educative followership in order for us to do that. And that is what we want to provide.
Are you hearing what your critics are talking about on the ground? The skepticism about you and you being the governor of Ogun State, relating the skepticism about your relationship with the former governor, Benga Daniel. Do you think that can taint your chances?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I had an opportunity of working with that government. I will not deny that. I think if you ask an average person on the street of Ogun State today, and now they've had an opportunity of another governor for 8 years, I think if you ask an average person on the street of Ogun State today to pick out of the two, I believe very strongly that majority will pick the government of Otumba Gbenga Daniels.
So
having said that, yes.
Will you rank Gbenga Daniels' administration over Ibikule Amosun administration?
Oh yes, I will.
In what sense?
In the sense of even development of the state, in the sense of priority setting for the state, in the sense of looking at the potentials of the state, particularly economic potentials of the state, and try to wake them up.
So Amosun did not balance his development?
It's not as balanced. In fact, it concentrated largely on one area,
which is
road construction in the center. Well, I do not have any problem with that. I don't have any problem with a befitting center, but that should not be done at the extreme expense of other areas and other sectors, particularly human capital development. At the end of the day, what this generation will leave for the next generation is the knowledge that we put in the head of our people and the brain of our people. And I think that the government now has not done enough in that area. Again, I think we have too much economic potentials that we needed to have continued and do a lot about that we did not do.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me quickly talk about the issue of education. You have promised to return missionary schools to their owner, and that has been generating a lot of issues.
That was not really the situation. It was wrongly couched by the press. What we said is that we will encourage NGOs, private institutions, missionaries, be it religion, whichever religion, to participate and partake in school development and school development. But that will be done within laid down rules, guidelines, and principles. We have also said that immediately we get into office, we're going to call an economic summit, an education summit, because the state of our education in Ogun State now is nothing to write home about. That we're going to have a comprehensive education summit. As a government, we are of the view that government, we should encourage private sector involvement, and this is done everywhere. In Lagos State, you have own a school, you have alumni participating in schools, you have all manners of these kind of things happening. So we can also do that. Now, if we now want to consider missionaries, whichever religion, there will be laid down rules in a way that both the teachers, the students, and everybody will not be shortchanged.
All right, let's
that will be done within that those principles.
Let's anchor.
So that's exactly what we're trying to say.
Mr. Isheka, let's anchor on this one. I'd like you to do it in less than a minute or about 40 seconds. You are an accounting expert. Are the people of Ogun State overtaxed?
Right now, no, I don't think so.
Would you tax them more?
No, I don't think so. I think what we have to do is to expand the tax base so that we can have a lot more people in the tax net, particularly along the border towns. And that is why one of our programs is actually to look at the border towns. And when we say border towns, we mean those local governments that borders Lagos.
All right.
We need to look at those people, develop the potentials in those areas.
All right.
Because our economy is being suppressed by more than 40% as a result of the poor infrastructure in those areas.
We need to anchor. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Mr. Gboyega Isiaka, and I wish you the very best in the coming days. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's our show, our conversation with Mr. Gboyega Nasser Isiaka, GNI, the ADC candidate in Ogun State. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.